Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Wednesday, the 1st of October, 2025. Starting with the synoptic, midnight last night, not a great deal over the UK, in line with yesterday's pleasant weather. Moving through to midday today, fairly similar picture, to be quite honest. Quite a lot of frontal activity building up over the Atlantic associated with this low that's currently just over Iceland. And we're going to see the benefit perhaps of that over the next few days, but certainly today should be fairly undisturbed by that, which got quite a lot of leftover sort of thick top cover and middle air clouds. So today's soaring is entirely dependent on what happens with that. The outlook for the next few days into tomorrow should still be a reasonable day with a low just to the west of Ireland. They're getting a bit closer. And then by Friday, a low centre just off the northern tip of Scotland, bringing quite a lot of wind and close frontal activity moving into midday Friday and then Saturday. Very, very windy indeed and quite unpleasant. So we make the most of it while we can. Back to today. So you're looking at the sat pic here. Very thick clouds in most of the country, a little bit thinner out to the west, but at the moment pretty well established here. Looking on the rain radar, showing quite a lot of thin, sort of light drizzle coming our way in the next sort of hour or so. It's fairly quickly moving, so hopefully that passes. And we can just confirm, looking at the Met Office rain forecast and showing fairly light bits of rain throughout today going through our area, but certainly by late morning, early afternoon, there is nothing following behind it for the remainder of the day. Odium TAF, we've got 160 degrees, 5 knots, visibility 9,000 meters with few at 2,000 feet. And there was a prop 30 of earlier this morning, 7,000 meters mist. I think most of that's starting to burn off now. Farnborough, fairly optimistic. We're in the variable at 3 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers and few at 4,500 feet. Surf, beg your pardon, spot winds to the south of us, sort of southwesterly and southwesterly, nice and light around 5 knots, and to the north a little bit more west to it, but around 10 or 15. So southwesterly today. And looking at the surface wind here on windy, it's showing fairly light southwesterly flow across the airfield. Looking at the local Met Office forecasts, they're showing the southwesterly wind around 7 knots throughout today being the maximum gusts, possibly up to as much as 14, but not much more than that. So based on that, we'll be operating at runway 27 today. GFS temperature starting to cool down now, generally around 14 or 15 degrees in the warmest part of the day, with a dew point of 11. Okay, the webcam on the south side, facing to the west, quite murky there. Little bits of rain maybe just starting to come through as we saw there on the radar. Very light breeze there, as you can see on the windsock. Hopefully this cloud here burning off and opening up to allow some better weather, some heating for some thermals later on this afternoon. So we're now up to 10.9 degrees locally with a dew point of 8.8. And looking here at sky sight potential flight distance, you can see there is something going on to the north of us. Not fantastic, probably not as good as yesterday, but there is potential for local soaring if we do manage to get this top cover to burn off. Looking at the point forecast on the right-hand side of the screen here, you can see that from late morning, early afternoon, it becomes soarable once this lower level cloud disappears according to this forecast, and then soarable up to maybe 2,500 to 3,000 feet locally today, with some cumulus for some part of the day to the north, and elsewhere we could be seeing cloud bases up to maybe 3,500 feet, and then blue in some places as well. Cloud distribution here on Top Meteo. We'll just run that through. It's beginning at 9 o'clock local time. We can see bit of the lower level cloud here indicated by the yellow and orange on the chart. and then this fairly thick autocumulus. Running it through, you can see that altitude passes, and that's probably what's associated with that band of rain coming through. And clearing behind it around sort of 1, 2 o'clock local time, leaving behind some medium cirrus, but hopefully not enough to stop the potential soaring. NOTAMs today are normal NOTAM. Software isn't working at the moment, so just a brief look here on NOTAM info. Quite a lot going on there, but none of it particularly relevant to us in our local area here. Nothing that's different to what we're used to. And up to the northwest, the Kemble or Cotswold CTA temporary Class D airspace has been activated once again. Move on now to glider bookings. We have two K21s on 5-day courses, two K21s and one K13 on booked flying today, and a K13 for the casual list. We have reasonable single-seater availability, particularly on the Grob fleet, and there are 3 on the casual list first thing this morning. So if there is an instructor willing to come out and help, that'd be much appreciated. Of course, simulator is available as normal. And we've got 2 movements today. A King Air departure at 12 o'clock local time, and that same aircraft coming back in at about 20 past 2. Both of these movements will require the displaced threshold, so we'll stay out on the runway and they'll land over the top. In summary, we've got thick top cover to begin with, a small possibility of light rain, soarable in the afternoon with some Q if we can get that top cover to thin. We're operating runway 27 today with cables on the south side grass. Just a reminder, the grass is wet, so bear in mind with your use of wheel brake, it might lock up and cause you to skid. Another reminder about low sun and misting canopies as we get towards the end of the year. And instructors, please do not brief at the front of the queue. Okay, it is the 1st of October. SFCL, Sailplane Flight Crew Licensing rules now apply. All the old BGA system is no longer applicable. So you must have an SPL in your possession to fly solo bit authorization. It isn't sufficient to have an application in with the CAA. Instructors may only exercise their privileges if they hold an SPL with an FIS rating. The same would, of course, apply to BIs. And all student solos, so those not holding SPLs, must be properly authorized. There's our airfield set up to finish with the winch on the south of the main runway, aerotoing from the hard. And a reminder, please do not land or taxi across the disused runways shown in red. That's all from me. We'll see you out there shortly. Have a good day and keep it safe. Thank you.